You are now listening to Over Under the Influence with your host, Connor Lucas. Sponsored by the only beer as cold as the Rockies, Coors Light. Askia. Hello, folks. It is your humble host, Connor. And you know what, Eric? You might as well just be the co-host now. We have Eric, but he's been on so many goddamn episodes.
Wow, the honor is here.
That he's getting called up.
I'm a regular.
It is episode 11, January 16th, day after Martin Luther King. How was your day?
It's a pretty good day. I was up in Bell Fountain. Got a couple dozen Buckeye donuts this morning. Positive reaction. Except, so I brought Buckeye donuts for a customer, and it was the first time I ever brought them. And I was like, oh, hey, brought you some donuts, hoping I'm not losing or ruining anybody's New Year's resolutions. Like a little funny joke to break the ice. This guy started laughing. He's like, yeah, man, I'm diabetic. I can't eat these. Ooh. And this lady comes out, and I guess she had a baby, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm on a diet. I can't eat those. But George will eat them, and then the owner, his name's George, and he's a big guy, so he just started diving in the donuts.
Probably shouldn't take Buckeye Donuts back to that place. Okay, we're going to start off with a little golf. Recap, Sony Open this past week. Pretty boring tournament. Last round, if you stayed up for it, if you're on the East Coast, it went till like 11 o'clock at night. It was Patton Kizzire and James Hahn. And neither of them could make a putt to win it. It went 6 playoff holes, and it was pretty boring. They played the same hole multiple times.
Imagine how awesome that would have been if it would have been Ricky and JT. Just a battle.
Yeah. That would have been incredible, but that's what I'm anticipating pretty much every single major to be this year.
It's going to be... Golf is in the best place it's been in a long time.
Absolutely, especially when you get T-Gray back there. Knock on wood. Yeah, I don't think anyone really expected this tournament to be that entertaining. I mean, most of these tournaments in wintertime, January, February, aren't that great.
So early.
But Kizzire, first person this year to win 2 tournaments. So he's leading the FedEx Cup. And, yeah, other than that, it was a pretty boring tournament. It's probably the longest tournament it'll go as far as sudden death holes. But on to this week, the CareerBuilder Challenge in California, played at
La Quinta.
Yep, that starts Thursday, as it always does. However, this course has 3 courses, so each player will get to play each course, so the cuts will not be made until after Saturday. Hudson Swafford was your winner last year, and we're going to give you some picks. We have not collaborated our picks at all. I have no idea who Eric has. He has no idea who I have. We're going to do a new thing, though. Every week, we're gonna give you guys a favorite to pick, a mid-tier guy to pick, and a complete long shot dark horse. Do you have the odds on your guys's?
I'm pulling them up right now.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and go first.
I'll go first because I got the odds. So my stud pick, that's what we'll call it. The favorite guy, we'll call it the stud pick.
Your leader.
My stud pick.
Best odds?
Yeah, best odds. Well, not best odds, but like top.
Of your picks.
A top tier guy. I got Mr. Johnny Rahm. I got him. He's my pick to win the tournament. He's stroking. He's a couple putts away from winning tournaments. He's at 9-1 odds. So I think that's fairly good value. Obviously, anything below 10, you're not getting your money back, but I think he's playing pretty well. And there's a lot of guys in this tournament that I should say there's a lot of guys who aren't in this tournament, actually. DJ's not playing. I don't believe Jordan's playing. JT's not playing. Ricky's not playing. So Rahm, probably the best player in the field. I like him to win it at 9-1. My mid-tier pick is welcome back Captain America, Patrick Reed, my guy. Yeah, him and Phil are back this week. I think he's been playing well. He's rolling off a couple good tournaments here. So I think if he can get his putter going, that's always been his problem. If he can get his putter going, he definitely could be in contention. He is at 18-1 odds. So also fairly good value. And my blind, but not blind, my pick to win at great odds, and he will be in contention, I promise you this. Kevin Chappell, my guy. Don't really have a whole lot of ammunition behind him. I don't know why. I'm expecting him to do well, but I like him this week. So Kevin Chappell at 40-1 odds. I'm taking you. So folks, before Thursday, make sure you take all three of them. Take all of them if you want to win money. Eric, take it away.
Yeah, so I definitely have to agree with my favorite. I mean, his odds are the best out of anybody. 9-1, Jon Rahm. I had another fave, but I'm going to put him at mid with Brian Harman, just because
I like Harman as well.
14-1 odds. He's been in contention the last two tournaments in Hawaii. He's had a chance to win. He's been at the top of the leaderboard pretty much the entirety of the week, but hasn't been able to close. I think he's a great player, and I think he's a great pick at 14-1, or at least for our fantasy golf. I think he's gonna do well. He's gonna be in my lineup. But I'm gonna put him in my mid, and then I have two sleepers.
Ooh.
Well, I kind of have three, but I'll go two. My first sleeper is Phil, 21 odds.
He's 21-1?
20-1.
Oh, it's more mid. You can't take
It's a
Phil.
mid?
You can't take Phil as a sleeper.
Okay, I'll put him in my mid then. I'll put him
Okay.
in my mid then too,
Okay.
with Harman.
That's fine.
20-1 odds, lefty. Pretty much his first tournament this year,
Yep, it is.
and he has traditionally done well. I think in like 2016 he was top 15. 2017 I think he was top 20. He's played well at this course. He's shot low. I mean, those are minus double-digit numbers to get up in there at this course. And then my sleeper is Lingmerth.
Lingmerth, former Memorial Tournament champion.
So my
David
sleeper is
Lingmerth.
just because traditionally he's done well at this tournament, kind of like Phil. I think last year, I was looking it up, he was 30th, but the year before that, he was second.
Ooh.
And I think it was in a playoff.
I think that was the year he won the Memorial, 2 years ago, when he was hot.
in 2016.
Yep.
And then just another pick kind of to go off that is Charles Howell, the third. My guy.
You just picking the whole field then?
These are I don't even know if he has odds out there right now, so they're probably
They all
pretty
have odds.
high.
They're
Yeah.
he's probably 80-1 or something. Cool.
Those are my picks.
I like them. Are you putting in any of the...
Basically, that's my whole lineup. So anybody that's listening,
answers
if you want to
the
win
question
some
I
money,
was just going to say. Okay. I like it. So, folks, get in on it. Rolling into it. Let's do a little NFL recap because there were some crazy games that happened over the weekend. Pats Titans, I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. Pretty much what everybody expected. I think there was a lot of calls that went in favor of the Patriots that I kind of thought were BS, but at the end of the day, they were definitely the better team, so I'm not too butthurt about it. Any comments on that game? I'll take that as a no.
I'm sorry, you can kick it off first.
I just said, did you have any comments on the game? Okay. He was looking at his phone. He wasn't paying attention. The Atlanta-Philadelphia game, I expected Atlanta to win. I wasn't too confident, but it was kind of a boring game. I think Philly's defense showed what they can do, and apparently they're just going to win a bunch of games off the leg of Jake Elliott. And Foles did pretty well. I think he was like 23 for 30, something around that.
Foles did. I think he did really well.
He didn't. I mean, nothing too. Because I don't think he had a touchdown either. No, he definitely didn't. Because it was 15-10.
They're you're right though. They're getting Atlanta's offense off the field. Obviously, they're one of the better offenses in the league. Getting their offense off the field is the biggest part of that game. I think that there are a lot of quarterbacks that could have done better than Nick Foles. Not taking anything against Nick Foles at all. I think he played well. But I agree. I think I thought Atlanta was going to dominate that. I think they should have. They went a lot. They went a lot to Julio, who seemed to get it done, and then obviously that reflects on the end of the season when he dropped that ball that just went right through his hands in the end zone. I don't know if he would have gotten down anyway, but it's kind of that was my pick.
Yeah, I think most people, at least most people we talked to, had Atlanta.
Boring game though.
Yeah, so those are two of the kind of downer game. It was still a good game, but I was kind of expecting a little more scoring.
I was expecting more scoring.
Let's see. The Jags-Steelers.
So that was...
Let's get into that.
That game was awesome.
That game was
for the reason of a final score. Jacksonville Jaguars 45, Pittsburgh Steelers 42. A lot of scoring. A lot of touchdowns.
That was a fun game.
A lot of touchdowns. I think what jumped off the page for me, which I didn't know, is that Leonard Fournette has 5 touchdowns in Heinz Field this year, and Le'Veon Bell has 4.
That's crazy. I didn't
blew
even
my
hear that.
mind.
Wow, that is that's
blew my
nuts.
mind.
Leonard Fournette absolutely dominated, 3 tutties, just in that game.
Who's their fullback? Oh, T.J. Yeldon got a touchdown. A lot of these were on the ground for Jacksonville.
Yeah,
it's not like Blake Bortles blew everybody out of the water, but he did play a good game.
Good enough, and that's kind of what they need him to do. They just need a game manager. Their defense is amazing, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, Pittsburgh couldn't stop the run. I think Mike Tomlin, questionable. I love Mike Tomlin. Not love him, but
I think there were a lot of questionable calls going on fourth down.
Yeah, I think that might be more towards Todd Haley, though. I don't know what they were doing going on 4th one.
That outside toss to Le'Veon on 4th down to try to pick up a yard.
And then the second one was a play-action pass. Interesting calls, I'll say, that I didn't agree with. I think a lot of times NFL coaches try and get too cute, but...
There was a stat that they said, and I can't remember it exactly, but it was crazy. It was like on Ben Roethlisberger's QB sneaks in the 19 that he's had on 4th down, he's converted on like 16 or 17 of them. Like it was like over 90%.
Wow.
And it blew my mind. And somebody interviewed him after, and they said, why didn't you go for it? When are you going to get involved and just kind of not go over Tomlin's head, or what signal do you have where you should say, hey, I want to run this. I think I can get this. And he just kind of put it on the coaching staff. It's not like he threw them under the bus, but it was kind of like that. His comments were like, that really wasn't my call. But I'm going to stand by my coaching staff on this one. Like you have to. He handled it like a pro, but.
Yeah. He's such a big guy. He's hard to stop. I don't know why they didn't.
They did so well. Their offense is good. I don't think any whispers of him retiring. I can't see that for another year or two.
No. And I'll be interested to see what happens with the whole Le'Veon thing.
So over to Jacksonville.
Ooh.
Back over there before we wrap this up on this game. What do you think is going to happen with Blake Bortles next year? This team obviously shows how important, similar to the Minnesota Vikings, how far top 2 defense in the league will get you.
Mm-hmm. I think
the Jags don't like him.
If I had to put money on it, I don't think he would be their quarterback next year. But I would not be surprised if he was. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be something interesting to see in the offseason, too. I think they already know.
He's the biggest bro of all time.
Oh, he's the man. He's a big fan. Yeah, he's on Barstool all the time.
It's not like they're going to have a super high draft pick to pick a stud quarterback. Not that the 2018 draft is loaded at quarterback position. There's a lot of question mark. There's a lot of people that are, you don't know how they're going to perform.
Yep, so a lot of interesting things. The only thing that stays the same is Antonio Brown is a beast, and he will be for a long time. Moving on. The greatest game that I've seen in a long time, the Vikings and the Saints. Where do we begin?
My lock of the week was the Saints money line to win that game because the Vikings were favored by, I can't remember.
You could have got them at 4.5, 5, 5.5. I've heard a couple people get them at different spots, which was kind of crazy because at the end of the game, They didn't end up kicking that extra point, which could have very much affected you depending on where you got.
Yeah.
But the obvious thing here, Stephon Diggs, man. More or less also Marcus Williams. I feel real bad for that kid, but what are you doing, man? You cannot do that. Just wrap him up.
I know he talked about that after, that should have been a play that he made, but it's obvious to say that when Stephon Diggs catches it. I think in the moment, something in me wants to say that maybe he almost dodged and avoided that tackle for the sole reason that he thinks Stephon Diggs might not have caught it and it was going to be pass interference. He got 2 or 3 pass interference calls on him in that game. I mean, the refs were throwing flags all over the place on PI.
Yeah.
And that would have put him in position to take a field goal and win.
I definitely think that was a factor. But, I mean, hindsight's 20/20. I feel real bad for him. But got to make the play. It was almost even better that Keenum threw it up that high because when Diggs went up, he had to stop. He had to slow down. It's not like it was a perfect pass in stride. It just worked out way too well for the Vikings. And
one of the greatest. I mean, that was the first walk-off touchdown to end a game in postseason.
Yeah,
it was great. The reaction from the players on the Vikings was awesome. It's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see New Orleans win it all. I love Drew Brees. Hate to see them go. I think there's a lot to be excited about in the future for New Orleans, but Minnesota definitely earned a win there. They got a little lucky, but deserving.
Yeah, but it'll be cool. I mean, this NFC Championship game will be interesting, but at this point, I'd like Minnesota to win, go to their home stadium in the Super Bowl. I think that'd be real cool. Now.
Right now. I mean, as a
viewer,
just as if you're looking at it and you had a team in the postseason, which quarterback would you pick? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Blake Bortles would probably be last on the list right now.
Blake Bortles probably would be last, but
so he was the highest drafted quarterback
of those 4. Okay,
and then I think it was just crazy when I was looking at it because Case Keenum was undrafted, Tom's 6th round, and Nick Foles was 3rd round. Get your quarterbacks late.
Yeah, I would have to say. Okay, well, here's a question then: who's 2 and who's 3?
I think I would take Nick Foles 2, Case Keenum at 3. And I think it's also cool that Nick Foles is back on the Eagles, doing awesome.
Yeah, I would change that, and I would take Case Keenum over Nick Foles. It's pretty close though. I think his connection with Diggs and Thielen are
strong
just
right now.
Better than Foles and Nelson Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey. But yeah, it's pretty close. Obviously, Tom's won. Bortles, you're still my guy though. Yeah. What else you got?
Nick Foles is the best quarterback in 2013.
Nick Foles actually is tied for the NFL record for most touchdown passes in a game with 7.
Who's he tied with? Freaking Eli or something?
Peyton when he was on the Broncos.
Gotta be one of the Mannings. Those guys throw touchdowns.
Yeah.
That was that in 2013? I feel like
it was a couple years ago. I'm not good with years.
I feel like I remember it being as of recently though.
Yeah, it was recent enough to remember.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I mean, you're putting up in the 50s in points in that game.
Yeah. That's crazy. I doubt there was any rushing touchdowns, though. If there was, I feel bad for the defense that he played against.
Okay, so out of these 4 teams that are left, Jags, Pats, Vikings, Eagles, who do you think has the best running game?
The best running game?
Because you could go best defense, which is that's close between the Vikings and the Jags. The best offense.
The Jags definitely have the best running. A lot of good questions.
The Jags have the best running?
Yeah. Jags are the best running game.
Yeldon and Fournette?
just mainly Fournette, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pats definitely have the best offense, though, by far.
I was going to say, you could put in there, the Pats use their running game different than any other team in the NFL.
Sure, but they don't
have their go-to guy. I mean,
their running game is inside like the 20.
Yeah.
Hard to stop, man. That's why that'll be an interesting game to watch, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be that easy for New England as most people think it'll be. The Jags are special. I don't know about Jalen Ramsey guaranteeing a Super Bowl win, but
Jalen Ramsey is one of the most exciting players in the NFL right now. He's suspect, but I love the guy.
Eric is obsessed with this video that he saw on World Star.
Everyone needs to go to YouTube and type in Jalen Ramsey suspect and watch this interview with him after a game.
Because he might be.
I forget who he was going up against. Oh, it was against Steve Smith Jr. It was after a game.
Oh, Junior? So it was
Senior.
Steve Smith's son.
Yeah, he was talking shit to like a 3-year-old kid.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Smith Senior. He shut him down during a game, and it was hilarious. His post-game reaction.
He came up to me after the game. It's a funny video. You guys should definitely check it out. Yeah, killer secondary, killer front four. I think Tom's going to have some problems, but if I have to take a winner, it would be the Patriots.
Yep.
Well, next episode we'll get into it. The spread
we'll dig into
picks.
that. Yeah, that's separate. We'll dig into that on Saturday.
So you Gucci there?
As I'll ever be. Burr.
Should we move on to the Lears?
Let's do it.
Okay, last thing we'll talk about before we head off. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors played last night. I was there. I witnessed it. It wasn't good. I'm not happy about it. But here are my thoughts. LeBron will be LeBron. He's fine. Tristan Thompson can never touch a basketball in a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, and I will be totally all right with it. He is getting paid way too much to do absolutely nothing. He's so... he's not unathletic, but just like clumsy. He can't shoot, and right now he's not rebounding, so why the hell are you on the floor? Isaiah Thomas, God, he's killing me. He was 8 for 21. That dude couldn't hit the broadside of a barn last night. I get it. He's still injured, or so he claims to be. He's getting his legs under him, the whole nine. I get it, but things need to change. D. Wade looked pretty good, I thought, last night.
Yep.
He's still got some finesse to him, man. He works the baseline real well. Big fan of his.
Dwayne Wade, yeah. I mean, he's going to...
And he plays defense. He gets boards. He uses his body so well to get rebounds.
He's going to do well in his 25 minutes a game.
Yeah. Big fan of his. JR is always JR. He's hit or miss. I thought we played not very... I don't think our defense was terrible, but we were giving them too many second chances. And you can't give the Golden State Warriors second chances because you see what happens. Balls were bouncing over our head. That kills us. They were beating us in transition, and we weren't moving the ball very well. We can't. It's embarrassing too when you watch them come up to court and they're passing it like 5 times just to find Steph or Clay in the corner with nobody on them, and all we do is just ISO with Isaiah Thomas or LeBron. It's bad basketball, and we're not gonna win playing this type of basketball. And they came out today, if you haven't heard already, that they're going to make a move by the trade deadline. I really hope that includes Tristan Thompson. And if Shump's involved, that's totally fine with me too. Yeah, those are my thoughts. We obviously need to get better, but there's also a lot of basketball played, and like we all know, LeBron doesn't really play basketball in January. It's all about June. So not too upset about it, but there's definitely things that we need to do to get better. And that starts with Orlando on Thursday night. And then we have Oklahoma City on Saturday, I believe. So we can bounce back, but those are my thoughts.
I think Isaiah Thomas can be a great offensive weapon, but when you have him on the floor, it's so easy to take advantage of him on defense.
Yeah.
And when he goes 8 for 21 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3, it's when you're giving the guy 21 shots and he's not going to put up 20 to 25 points.
Yeah.
Well,
he had 19. If you only looked at that, you'd be like, "Oh, nice, IT." But if you watched the game, you'd be like, "Damn, dude. Oh my god. Like you're trash." But yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, I mean there are spurts and flashes of greatness, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy this guy's on our team.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what made him so good in Boston is he was the guy. Who else was the guy? I mean, Jay Crowder shooting from the outside, getting his 6-7 shots a game. Al Horford just dominating the paint. That's fine, but you need somebody to be your outside shooter, your go-to guy. And I think that's why Boston was so happy to trade him is because they got Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, which it's scary to think about if Gordon Hayward would play well on that team and if the chemistry would be great, how they would just dominate the East.
On top of Jason Tatum pick that they had, he's a stud. If he isn't already, which he is, he's going to be a killer in a couple years.
And back to the whole Tristan Thompson thing, besides IT playing bad, Tristan Thompson, I loved the guy in the finals in 2016, but when you're getting 7-8 offensive boards a game, that's awesome. But you need to be a two-way player to play in the NBA right now. You can't be one-dimensional. I think that there are so many players his size and bigger that are just so much more dominant, blocking, getting defensive and offensive rebounds, and scoring. Tristan Thompson will play 25 minutes a game and shoot the ball 2 times. Won't ever get to the line. You can't have a player like that. And the fact that we're paying him $16 million a year, nobody is going to buy into that contract because there's still 3 more years left on it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be able to give somebody a $50 million player for 3 years. The salary cap is so high where maybe that would work for a team that was looking for that, but his trade value is not high right now.
No. I can't even trust him with the ball in his hands. It's scary. It looks like it's like a little league kid who's scared to have the ball in his hands, and he'll jack something up, and
he's got the curse of the Kardashians.
And I get he was injured too. I get that, but I can't just keep saying all these guys were injured. It's an excuse, and LeBron doesn't deal with excuses.
I know there's a bunch of whispers about DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen because he's going to come here before the All-Star break, before the trade deadline, and his contract's up at the end of the year. You can't expect him to mesh perfectly and them to figure this out. I do like that player. I like that kind of position on the Cavs, so we can have someone dominating the paint specifically. We don't have that right now.
Definitely not. But if we're going to get a center, he needs to be dominant because that would be the only real advantage we have against the Warriors.
And the league
we can't have a similar type offense to the Warriors because you're never going to be as good as the Warriors.
They just shoot the ball too well.
Way too well. Their offensive threat is probably the greatest ever. It's dangerous. Piggybacking off of that though, Draymond Green is trash. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. What the hell am I sorry for? I hate Draymond Green. He's a bitch. That dude's jump shot is
the ugliest jump shot.
It might be worse than Tristan's. I get it. He probably had a bad night last night. I mean, he definitely did. But that dude is not as good as everyone claims him to be.
I wonder what Golden State Warriors fans think of him, just because there's so many other players to love.
I think he's kind of like a better Varejao. Didn't you like Varejao when he was on the Cavs? You like the hustle guy. You like the dude who talks. You like the...
Yeah.
Like, I bet everyone loves him because he gets on LeBron's head. Or...
Tries to.
Air quotes, yeah. No one gets on LeBron's head, but...
LeBron James couldn't do any more for the team than he did last night.
No, or that he always does. He always...
I know he has bad nights of shooting. Last night was an awesome night of shooting. Assists. he filled up the stat sheet.
He did everything. He did everything he needed to. It was the other people around him that couldn't get it done.
I mean, are we hitting the panic button on the Cavs?
No, absolutely not. And we do this every January. We do it. Not even January. October, November, December, January, even into February.
But it's like the worst 10-game stretch LeBron's had since 2007.
No one's worrying.
You're not worried?
People might. Hell no. No, not at all. I'm not worried.
Well, last
year...
year...
Do we need to get better? Absolutely. But I'm not worried.
Last year, did we have the 3 seed in the East?
We had
behind Toronto and Boston, and I think that's what we're in right now.
We had
behind Toronto and Boston.
I thought we had the 2 seed because we could have had the 1 seed, but Washington was 4. And because remember, John Wall was like, the Cavs didn't want to play us in the second round. They had the 4 seeds. I think we had the 2 seed, I believe.
Okay. Because we played Toronto first. Or no, we played Atlanta first.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then Toronto.
I don't know. They were all over so quickly, I couldn't remember who we played. 4 games just go by like that. Sweep. Yeah.
I'm not hitting the panic button now because it's so early. I agree, and it's... But that being said...
We have LeBron.
I miss Kyrie a lot.
Oh, for sure. I mean, to compare IT to Kyrie at this point is ridiculous.
I'm still hurt that the fact that...
Kyrie, I miss you, man.
Why would you let yourself... Even if they wanted to trade you... Like, let's just say Kyrie wanted to stay and they traded him away. Why would you let them trade you away? I mean, it's... Obviously, there's different circumstances behind that whole thing, but... Why would you leave?
Yeah, I miss him. He was a baller. And I don't think IT is ever going to come back to his all-star self that he was last year. I just don't see it right now. I hope I'm wrong, but...
I would love for you to be wrong there, but yeah, I agree with you. He's not going to be... Is he going to have a 30-point game this year? Probably not.
I bet you he gets a 30-point game this year. For sure. I mean, shit, if LeBron's
not playing.
Think about it. If he jacks up 21 shots again, he only needs to make about 4 more of those, then he's getting it.
True.
I mean, we're trying to give him the ball. We're giving him the shots. You know what? It could happen on Thursday against Orlando. If he plays. I'm assuming he plays. All right. Anything else?
That's all I got, man.
All right, folks. We will be here either Thursday or Friday. We'll get you a little NFL spread picks, getting more into that. See if we can get another guest on here. Might give you a little UFC update because a big card here on Saturday. Other than that, folks, appreciate it. Have a good night. God bless you.
See ya.